I met Jake during my senior year of college. 3 years later, we were still together. For our anniversary, we booked an Italy trip. Not a fancy tour company, an Instagram thing. A girl named Despina ran it. @local with Despina. She had 90,000 followers. Authentic Italian experience, her bio said. DM for details. We did. She sent us a Venmo link. That was the booking. The trip covered 3 cities: Rome, Florence, Naples. 2 days each. Some people joined for one city. Some stayed the whole week. It was flexible. That was the appeal. We started in Rome. Despina met us at the hotel lobby. She was maybe 24, bubbly, disorganized. She didn't have a clipboard or a list, just her phone and good vibes. "Okay, I think everyone's here," she said. She didn't count. She never counted. That's when I first noticed them. A couple in their 40s. The woman had short blonde hair. The man was tall with a trimmed beard. They introduced themselves as Claire and Michelle, French accents. Expensive clothes. They smiled a lot, too much maybe. The lobby was crowded, people coming and going, other tour groups nearby. Despina was taking a selfie with someone. Nobody was paying attention. The first day, we toured the Colosseum. Despina took a group photo at the end. That night, I scrolled through my phone. Something caught my eye. In the group photo, Claire and Michelle were directly behind us. I didn't remember them standing there. I showed Jake, he shrugged. "Coincidence," he said. The next day, another group photo. Another coincidence. Claire and Michelle were behind us again. Same position, same smiles. I started paying attention after that. On the second morning, we stopped at an ATM. Jake needed cash. There was a short line. Michelle was right behind us. Very close. When Jake entered his PIN, I felt uncomfortable. Michelle could see everything, but I didn't say anything. Tourist areas are always crowded. Normal, I told myself. We took the train to Florence. Claire and Michelle were on the same train, different car, but I saw them on the platform, watching us board. In Florence, things felt different. They were always nearby, never next to us, always a few steps behind. One evening, we ate at a small restaurant. The check came. Jake pulled out his wallet, laid it on the table. Right then, Claire appeared. "What a beautiful place you found," she said. She sat down uninvited, talked for 5 minutes. Her eyes kept drifting to the table, to Jake's open wallet. His cards visible, his ID visible. When she left, she touched the table lightly. I didn't see her take anything, but I wasn't watching closely either. Naples was our last stop. The city was chaotic, loud, crowded, pickpockets everywhere. Everyone warned us. On our second day, Jake couldn't find his wallet. We searched everywhere. "Gone." "Pickpocket," we said. "It happens in Naples. Everyone knows." Michelle appeared out of nowhere. "I'm so sorry," he said. "You should cancel your cards immediately. Which bank do you use? What cards did you have?" He asked so many questions. He was so helpful. Too helpful. That night, I told Despina about Claire and Michelle. She looked confused. "French couple?"
"Blonde woman, tall man. They've been with us since Rome."
She checked her phone, her Venmo history, her DMs. "Nobody by those names paid me," she said slowly. "Are you sure they're part of the group?" I felt sick. They've been on every tour, every bus, every photo. Despina shook her head. "If they didn't pay, they're not with me. I don't check IDs. I don't take attendance. I just assumed they belonged." The next morning was checkout. Last day. I was at the reception desk paying our bill. The receptionist smiled. "Did your friends return the extra key?" I froze. "What friends?" "The couple from last night, Claire and Michelle. They came around midnight. Said they needed to get something from your room. You were already sleeping," they said. "They didn't want to wake you. They had our room number. They must have heard it at check-in, or seen it on the key sleeve when Jake set it down. Such polite people." My heart stopped. I looked at Jake. His face was white. "They're not our friends," I whispered. The receptionist's smile disappeared. We ran to our room. Everything was there, nothing missing. But that didn't matter. While we slept, they were in our room, watching us, going through our things, standing over our bed. For how long? We never found out. We called the police, filed a report. Claire and Michelle had vanished, checked out before dawn, paid cash, fake names, no record. We flew home 2 days later. I thought it was over. 6 weeks later, the bank called. Fraud department. Not because a loan was approved, because Jake's credit report lit up. Hard inquiries. Multiple attempts to open new accounts in his name. Some got stopped. Some didn't. A couple of small credit lines showed up anyway. Store cards, pay later accounts. The kind that can slip through fast checks. Then the weird part. A dealership had run his credit for an auto loan. Not proof someone drove off in a car. Just proof someone was using his identity as if it was theirs. And his profile showed a new trail. An address tied to Sofia, Bulgaria. Not a life. Paperwork. A rental application. A booking request. Future dates. Paid online, using Jake's passport number. And the social security number he'd photographed and left in his email, because his laptop was still logged in. His full identity. Everything. The investigation found fragments. The detective read their pattern to me like it was a script, and I realized we'd followed every cue. Claire and Michelle weren't real names. They used forged documents to blend into tour groups. They selected targets, watched them, learned their habits, stole what they needed, then disappeared. Police found similar cases. Spain, Portugal, Croatia, always a charming couple, always vanishing before anyone noticed. They were never caught. Jake spent months fixing his credit, proving he was himself. The scariest part is I don't even know where they are, or what they're doing with his identity, his history, his life. Sometimes I look at those photos from the trip, every beautiful landmark, every smiling moment, and behind us, in every frame, there they are, Claire and Michelle, watching, learning, smiling. They chose us from the very first day. We never knew. And that night in Naples, while we slept, they stood in our room. I still don't know what they did. I never will. Julia and I rented a cabin in the Colorado mountains for New Year's. 5 days away from everything. No work, no phones. No phones unless it was an emergency. Just us and the snow. The listing looked perfect. A wooden A-frame house at the end of a private road, surrounded by pine trees. Nearest neighbor, 4 miles away. We arrived on December 29th. The drive up was beautiful. Snow covered everything. The road narrowed as we climbed higher. By the time we reached the cabin, the sun was setting, orange light through white trees. Silence everywhere. The cabin was smaller than the photos, but cozy. Stone fireplace. Big windows facing the forest. A loft bedroom upstairs. We unloaded our bags and started a fire. Julia made hot chocolate. I put on music. Everything felt right. Then the sun went down, and the darkness came fast. Mountain darkness is different. No streetlights, no distant glow from a city, just black. Around 9 p.m., we heard the first howl. Distant. Long. Wolves or coyotes? Julia laughed nervously. That's creepy, she said. Just wildlife, I replied. We're in their territory now. We went back to our drinks. An hour later, a dog started barking somewhere in the woods. Not a wolf howl. A dog. Aggressive. Frantic. Like it was warning something. I looked at Julia. There's no neighbors for miles, she said quietly. The barking continued for 10 minutes. Then it stopped abruptly. Mid-bark. Just silence. We didn't talk about it. We went to bed early. The loft was warm from the rising heat. I fell asleep quickly. I woke up at 2 a.m. Something had woken me. I lay still, listening. Nothing. Then I heard it. 3 slow knocks on the front door. Knock, knock, knock. I sat up. Julia was awake too. Her eyes were wide in the darkness. Did you hear that? She whispered. I nodded. We waited. Another 3 knocks. Louder this time. I grabbed my phone and turned on the flashlight. Stay here, I told Julia. I climbed down from the loft. The cabin was dark, except for the dying embers in the fireplace. I approached the door slowly. There was a small window beside it. I looked through. Nothing, just snow and darkness. I waited. A minute passed. 2 minutes. I started to think I had imagined it. Then something moved at the edge of the tree line. A shape, human-sized. Standing between the pines, watching the cabin, my heart stopped. I stepped back from the window. Julia, I called up. Call 911. Now. What's wrong? Someone's outside. She scrambled for her phone. I heard her dial. I kept watching the tree line. The shape was gone. Or maybe it had moved. I couldn't tell. Julia's voice came from upstairs. There's no signal. I have 1 bar, but the call won't connect. The knocking started again. Not at the front door this time, at the back door. 3 knocks. Slow, deliberate. I ran to the back window, a face pressed against the glass. A man, pale skin, dark eyes, staring directly at me. I screamed. The face pulled back into the darkness. Julia was crying now. What do we do? I grabbed a kitchen knife. It felt useless, but it was something. For the next 2 hours, we heard them circling the cabin, footsteps in the snow, crunching, stopping, starting again, sometimes at the front, sometimes at the back, sometimes on the roof. Fine powdery snow sifted down from above the loft, dusting the windowsill, like someone had brushed it off a boot. They never knocked again, they just circled, like wolves. Around 4 a.m., everything went quiet. Complete silence. No footsteps. No wind. Nothing. Julia whispered, "Are they gone?" I didn't answer. I was watching the front door. The handle was moving, slowly.
Testing.
Someone was trying to get in. The lock held. The handle stopped moving. Then the back door. Same thing. Handle moving. Lock holding. Then nothing. 30 minutes of nothing. I started to hope. Maybe they gave up. Maybe they left. Then the front door exploded inward. Wood splintering. Lock breaking. Cold air rushing in. 2 men. Ski masks. Heavy boots. One held a crowbar. The other held nothing visible. "Upstairs," I yelled. Julia and I ran to the loft. We pulled the ladder up behind us. Below, flashlights swept through the cabin. "We know you're up there," a voice called, calm, almost friendly. "We're not here to hurt you. We just want your valuables. Phones, wallets, jewelry, that's all." I looked at Julia. She was shaking. I was too. "Okay," I called back. "Okay, we'll give you everything. Just don't hurt us." "Smart choice," the voice replied. I heard them moving below, opening drawers, checking cabinets. "We need a guarantee," I shouted. "How do we know you won't hurt us?" "You don't," the voice answered, "but you don't have a choice either." Julia grabbed my arm. She showed me her phone. 1 bar. A text had gone through. To the county's text to 911 line. "Home invasion. Our address. Help. Sent." I needed to buy time. "Our wallets are in my jacket by the door," I said. "Her purse is on the kitchen counter." Footsteps moved toward those locations. I kept talking, kept stalling. Every second mattered. Then I heard it, faint at first. A siren, far away but getting closer. The men heard it too. Everything went still. "Shit," one of them hissed. Rapid footsteps. Things being grabbed, the back door slamming. Then nothing. They were gone. The sirens grew louder. Red and blue lights eventually flickered through the trees. 2 deputies. They searched the area, found footprints leading into the forest, found tire tracks on a back road we hadn't known existed, found nothing else. The men were never caught. They took Julia's laptop, her purse, some cash, my watch, small things. But the fear they took was bigger. We drove down the mountain at sunrise. We didn't even pack properly, just threw everything in the car and left. We never went back to Colorado. We never will. 2 weeks later, Julia got an email. Subject line, "Special winter discount. Return to paradise." It was a promotional offer from the same rental listing, same cabin, same photos, 20% off your next stay. She deleted it immediately. But sometimes I wonder who else has stayed there since, and whether they made it through the night. Sophie and I had been best friends since freshman year, 10 years. Through breakups, job changes, apartments, everything, we promised ourselves a trip when we both turned 30. Paris, neither of us had ever been. We saved for a year, booked a small hotel in Le Marais. 7 nights, just us. No boyfriends, no drama, just wine and croissants and wandering. The first few days were perfect. We walked everywhere, took photos at every corner, ate too much, drank too much, laughed until our stomachs hurt. On the 5th night, we found a small bar near the Seine. It was crowded, loud music, good energy. We ordered drinks and found a spot by the window. That's when they approached us. 2 men, maybe early 30s. One was tall with dark hair. The other was shorter, lighter, with green eyes, They introduced themselves as Julian and Mark. French, charming. They bought us drinks. We let them. Julian sat next to me. Mark sat next to Sophie. We talked for hours. They were funny, attentive. Too attentive, maybe. Julianne asked a lot of questions. Where are you staying? Which hotel? How long are you here? When do you fly back? Are you traveling alone? Sophie answered everything. She was always open like that. Trusting. I was quieter. Something felt off, but I couldn't explain it. Around midnight, Mark suggested we continue the night at their apartment. It's close, he said. Great view of the city. We have more wine. Sophie looked at me. Her eyes were bright. She wanted to go. I didn't. I'm tired, I said. I think I'll head back. Sophie frowned. Come on, Emma. Live a little. I'm serious. I'm exhausted. Sophie shrugged. Fine. I'll go. Just for a bit. My stomach tightened. Sophie, don't. It's fine. They're nice. We don't know them. I'll text you when I get there and when I leave, okay? I grabbed her arm. Please, just come back with me. She laughed. You worry too much. I'll see you in the morning. She hugged me, grabbed her jacket, walked out with Mark and Julian. I watched them disappear down the street. That was the last time I saw her. I went back to the hotel, waited for her text. It never came. I fell asleep around 3 a.m., still waiting. When I woke up, the sun was already high. I checked my phone. Nothing from Sophie. I texted her. No response. I called. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Same thing. Phone was off. I went downstairs. The receptionist said Sophie hadn't come back. Her key was still at the desk. I walked to the bar from last night. Closed. I walked around the neighborhood. Nothing. Nobody. I went to the police. Explained everything. The officer listened. Typed something on his computer. Then he looked at me. We cannot open an investigation until 24 hours have passed. But she's missing. She didn't come back. Perhaps she stayed with friends. Perhaps she lost her phone. She's not answering. Something is wrong. He shrugged. Come back tomorrow. I wanted to scream. I walked back to the hotel.
I checked her room.
Her suitcase was there. Her passport was there. Everything was there, except Sophie. The next morning, the receptionist stopped me. Your friend checked out, she said.
What?
Early this morning, around 6. That's impossible. I was awake at 6. She came through the side entrance. Paid in cash. Left. Did you see her? Someone from the night shift handled it. Was it her? Are you sure? The receptionist hesitated. I wasn't here, but the paperwork is complete. I went back to the police, filed the report, gave them Sophie's photo, described Julian and Mark, the bar, everything. They said they would investigate. They checked the hotel security cameras. The footage showed a woman matching Sophie's description. Same height, same hair color, same jacket. But her face was turned away. Always turned away. It's her, the officer said. She checked out. She left. That's not her, I said. I know Sophie. That's not how she moves. He didn't believe me. They checked airport records. A ticket was purchased in Sophie's name, New York. The flight had already departed. She was listed as boarded. Your friend went home, the officer said. Without telling me? Without her suitcase? Without her passport? The officer frowned. Passport. It's still at the hotel. He paused. That is unusual.
Please.
Something happened to her. He said he would look into it. I waited 2 more days. Nothing. No leads. No answers. I flew home alone. Sophie's suitcase stayed at the hotel. The embassy said they would handle it. When I landed in New York, I went straight to Sophie's apartment. Her roommate opened the door. Is Sophie here? She looked confused. Sophie? No. I thought she was still in Paris with you. She's not back? I haven't heard from her in a week. My legs went weak. I called Sophie's mum. She hadn't heard from her either. Nobody had. I went home. I couldn't think, couldn't breathe. I sat on my bed and stared at the wall. Eventually, I opened my suitcase, started unpacking. At the bottom, under my clothes, something was wrong. A phone. Not mine, Sophie's phone. The screen was cracked. I picked it up. My hands were shaking. I turned it over. The SIM card slot was open. Empty. Someone had taken the SIM card. I didn't pack this.
Sophie didn't pack this.
Someone put it in my bag. But when? At the hotel? At the airport? On the plane? Here. Did someone come into my apartment? I couldn't breathe. 3 days passed. I barely slept. I kept Sophie's phone on my nightstand, kept staring at it. Then my phone rang. I looked at the screen. The caller ID said, Sophie. My heart stopped. Her number, her name. I answered with shaking hands. Sophie? Silence. Then a voice, a man's voice. Emma. I hung up. The phone slipped from my hands, hit the floor. I stood there frozen. Seconds passed. Then it started ringing again. The screen lit up. Sophie's name glowed in the dark. It rang and rang and rang. I couldn't move. I couldn't answer. I just watched. Vacations are supposed to be escapes. From work, from routine, from the ordinary. But sometimes you escape into something worse. A tour group that includes people who shouldn't exist. A mountain cabin where something circles in the dark. A night in Paris where your best friend never comes back. Which story disturbed you most? Drop your answer in the comments. And next time you travel somewhere new, be careful. You might be the target.